Hello and welcome to Tarot by the Moon. Tash here at Tarot by the Moon. Hi everybody. Thank you all for all the likes, shares, subscribes and comments regarding the new starseed readings. Absolutely thrilled to bits with the feedback I've got there, and I'm so glad so many of you have enjoyed that and embraced that. So we'll be doing more of those. Coming today with a lovely new moon. We're still in the new moon. We're not quite a half moon yet. We'll be in a full moon by next week. It goes so quickly. Anyway, we're still in the Virgo energy is what I wanted to chat to you about. We're still in this Virgo energy. And by now, last week we were talking about being present with where circumstances actually are. By now we should have some kind of a plan. By now we should be sorting through things a little bit. I feel like a lot of it has been emotional. Now, some years when we come to Virgo season, it's all very practical, and sure enough, let me just adjust that a minute, my loves. Practical stuff like clearing out your closets and whatever can help you to shift emotional energy, mental energy, any blocked energy at all in your system. But I'm really feeling really strongly that it's been a lot of emotional energy. I feel like a lot of us have started to get a little bit waylaid by our emotions, a little bit stuck in regrets. I feel like, especially today and yesterday, wanting to really open up and talk about that, and that's a good thing. Communicate about that with somebody you trust for sure, but don't allow yourself to wallow in it. And I know that's easier said than done. Please believe me, I know. I'm Cancerian. I know. if only you knew what I know about not doing that, or how hard that is. Okay, but I'm feeling it really strongly in the collective. I'm feeling it really strongly for somebody. I feel like we're healing it. This is an opportunity, like I said to you last week, there was a lot of the wounded healer energy coming up, stuff coming up to be healed. Retrograde season, it asks us to look back. Communications may have gone awry with loved ones and things like that and caused problems in relationships. So it's all coming up for us to look at. But I feel like it's been really emotional. I felt like a lot of cords attaching to the heart chakra collectively. And individually, I have to say, I would recommend cord clearing, energy work of whatever suits you. Some people say don't cut them, just push them away. Some people do the weekend burning bits of cotton and all of that. Do whatever feels right to you, because that'll be the right thing and it'll work if that's what feels right to you, okay? But do consider doing things like that. Do also consider at this time, I feel it's really important that we need to work with realigning our chakras, getting our chakras back in balance. So any meditations that you can do around that at all that works for you, there's tons and tons of them out there. Find one that calls to you and that'll be the right one. Share your experiences with each other, share how you're getting along with all of that energy as well, okay? Because I feel like Virgo energy is asking us to sift and sort and see how we do things better. And this year, I really feel strongly a lot of that is emotional. It is so emotional. So let's just push on with that. Now, by this phase of the moon, okay, we're just coming up to half moon. We should have some kind of a plan with how we're moving forward. We should have some kind of a plan. We maybe still need to do a little bit of sorting and clearing, but it should be sort of a plan sort of coming into vision of how we're emotionally moving forward, and maybe even practically, and maybe, because it is a very practical sign after all, and maybe even in other areas of our life, because, sure enough, what we heal in one area of our life will spill over into the other areas of our lives, if that makes sense anyway, okay? So start where it feels most stuck. Start where you're really feeling it, or where you really see it needs to change, and it'll naturally spill over into the other areas of your life that you'll be able to organise, sort, sift, work smarter, and see how we're getting through that. So what I mean is, like in the past, the way you may have dealt with difficult emotions may have been to hide away, may have been to let things fester, may have been to any number of like negative ways, toxic ways of dealing with difficult situations. Perhaps, it doesn't matter whose fault it was or who started. None of that matters. What matters right now is how you're dealing with it, how you're processing it. It's about processing. Okay, so try not to go back to the old ways of how we used to process things. For me, that might have just been hiding away, shutting the curtains, crying my eyes out for days on end and listening to tons of really sad music or whatever. Don't get me wrong, those things can help in small amounts, for sure, singing along to some, proper songs, or, any of those things, or taking it easy for a little chill or whatever, might work, but don't stay stuck in that energy to the point where that is adding to the toxicity. Don't keep looking back on something that's just not for you, whether it's a relationship with somebody that you're romantically involved with, whether it's in your family, your friends. If it keeps causing you pain and it keeps putting you in that unstable place, then it's not for you. And if it is meant for you, then it'll come back to you. But it'll only come back to you if you've released it first. If you're just holding on to it. Okay, so people talk about twin flames, so I don't want to release it as a twin flame. I don't want to release it as my soulmate or whatever, all right? And I get a lot of this when I'm doing readings for people or what have you, and it's like, yeah, but if you hold on to it, you're holding on to just what was toxic in each other. For it to come back to you and have a new start within it, whether that's a family relationship, friendships, work relationships, or romantic, you have to release it and let it go. And then if it comes back, it's for you. There's something there, or there's more lessons there for you to figure out, or there's something there you can work with. And if it doesn't come back to you, then you know something better is going to come and replace it for you, okay? But if you're holding on to it, you're just constantly holding on to that toxicity and pain. All right? So it's really important to do those cord cutting, clearing ceremonies, chakra aligning, and having a good old think about how you process this stuff, okay? And how you can process it better. So that's where we're at. That's how I'm feeling. That's what's going on. So let's go in with a lovely reading. Okay, before we get to that full moon, it's full moon in Pisces, so we do need to sort of, get a sort of an energetic plan together before we get to the full moon, for sure, as much as possible, at least. So take it easy with yourself. We can do this. This is the whole point of these readings. This is the whole point of this channel, and I hope you appreciate that, and I hope you're on board. And like I say, I always say to you guys as well, don't be scared to reach out with me, any triggers, problems you're having. I'll always listen. I'll always try and point you in the right direction. Professional help. Okay. So, big deep breath. Let's call in the highest vibration of love, and only love, into this reading today, for ourselves, for the collective, for anyone involved in our reading, anyone involved in our lives. Nothing but radical compassion and love. For the planet we live on, for the ancestors, for the spirit guides, for the interdimensional beings, for the archangels, the angels, all spirits overseeing this reading. Nothing but the highest vibration of divine love and radical compassion. For all of the plant life, animal life, and all of the other groups of life that live here with us and cohabit with us here on this planet. Nothing but the highest vibration of love. And so it is. Okay, my darlings, let's see what's coming up. Now, for any new viewers, hello and welcome. You don't need to be any... Oh, straight off the bat. Energy. Right. You don't need to be any particular sign to join in with this reading. You can be any sign at all. Different signs do come up as we go along, and we'll discuss them as they come up. But you don't need to be any sign. I'm working on the premise of we've all got all of the elements within our charts in various degrees, okay? It may resonate with you, it may not resonate with you, you might just enjoy it. If you've come into this reading, you can consider that you are protected, and you can consider that you are getting healed on some level. So please stick with me, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe. I split it into 4 groups representing the elements. The first one is air, and that represents our minds, our mental health, our thought processes, and how we're doing with all of that. The next one will be water. That's our emotions, our heart, and how we're feeling. The third one is fire, and that's all about our creativity, our drive, and our willpower, etc. And the last one is the earth. So that's actually how we're manifesting after we've learned all of these lessons and taken all of this on board. What's pulling through the earth plane for us? So I hope you're going to enjoy it, and I hope it makes sense. People seem to be enjoying it, so I've carried on doing it. Yeah. So these are our 4 cards that have come out. I only ever take the flippers and the folders, and straight away there was an awful lot of energy there. 5 have come out, so I will consider the 5th card. Okay, my love, straight away. Okay, High Priestess. High Priestess, not at all surprised to see the High Priestess coming out in our area of air. Mental. I'm speaking really, really quickly. Now, I don't always speak this quickly. Mercury is in retrograde, and I am getting an awful lot of downloads. Sometimes I have to speak really, really quickly, because otherwise, like, I can't pull all of the downloads I'm getting through, if that makes sense. So please forgive me. I feel like it's really hectic today, the Mercury thing. So part of the reason why I've had to come on and do this, because I feel like there's things that need to be spat out here that we're going to benefit from. So please bear with me. I might fluff up a few words as well, it being a Mercury retrograde, so please bear with me and forgive me for that also. High Priestess. Love the High Priestess. This is all about actually looking within, seeking our own wisdom, maybe seeking the wisdom of a teacher. This could come through a guide, this could come through something, a podcast you listen to, a channel you watch, a book you read, some information from somebody who's got a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience regarding whatever these emotional issues are that are coming up for you to have a look at, okay? I do feel like this is very emotional energy as well. It's very feminine, it's very divine feminine, it's very sacred. This goes for men as well. If you're a man watching, this is all about being in touch with your feminine side. Men, what's that Cure song? Boys Don't Cry, It's that. You feel just as much as the female heart and all the rest of it, and there may be a lot of strong emotions going on here, and a lot of having to deal with difficult decisions, or difficult paths that you're finding through romantic situations in particular. Could be with your family, could be with your friends, or any other close relationship. Anything that pulls on your heart is what I want to say, right? Trying to ground this, trying to move forward with it, trying to understand it and understand better ways to sort of grow from situations, and learn from the past ways we were doing things and how to do those things better. So really tapping into your intuitive side, really looking into different ways, spiritual ways maybe that you haven't considered before, of healing, of like I say, cord cutting, things like that. You may have never looked at that before, you may never even heard of it until I've said it to you today. But you might go off and try one of these sort of alternative methods of dealing with negative energy and processing negative emotions, and find it works a treat. This is proper on our brains right now, okay? This is very much as well about being more in the creative side of your brain than the logical side of your brain. It's about balance between the both, for sure, but it's more about drawing out that sort of a mysterious element that we all possess. So you might have found that you've got hunches at the minute that are really strong and that don't make sense to other people why you're following them, but you should be following them. You're absolutely right to be following them, and this appears especially in that area of the reading, okay? Following hunches. You may have had a little bit of deja vu. You may have had a weird dream that is, you've looked into the symbolism of it and it's started to make sense to you. There's a message in there for you. It could be anything, but the spirit world is definitely trying to speak to you when we get the High Priestess there, okay? Trying to show you, trying to help you, trying to move you away from negative, harmful, emotional situations. Third eye chakra absolutely activated, so you might have been feeling a lot of activity in the third eye chakra between the brows. Also, the way she's holding that book in this particular depiction is like almost protectively in front of her, and this is like showing me clearly that spirit is definitely trying to protect your tender heart, your beautiful soul, from any more damage, because I feel like a lot of us are in like potentially negative, draining, challenging emotional situations. And that's like something that can't be avoided, or something that even you were meant to experience. You might say, oh, why, Spirit? Why did you make me fall in love with this person? I listened to all your guidance. I did this, I did that. And now I've got to feel like this. Well, it's because there's lessons in there. It's because there's growth in there. Okay? But instead of dealing with that now in a negative way, or in an old paradigm way, or in a way that the more immature or old you would have dealt with it, Spirit's trying to protect you from that and show you a different way, a better way of clearing that energy very quickly, so you can move on, very Virgo, very quickly organising it, processing it, understanding it, and seeing what the lessons are, so you can take off in a fresh new direction, okay, and possibly even have a new start. with whatever that is that's pulling on your heart at the minute, okay? And there might be several things. You might find you're having problems in your romantic life. You've also got issues in your family life that you'd like to resolve that keep coming up and you can't seem to resolve. Now is the perfect time to sort of try and have a look at all of that, okay? I'm so glad to see Death card there. I know that sounds weird. Nothing to be scared of. If you're not familiar with tarot, please trust me, the Death card is nothing at all to be scared of. And I'm so glad I used this deck today because that is a beautiful depiction of death. There's nothing at all there to be scared of. You go through death's door, there's nothing but transformation and transfiguration. You can see all 4 seasons in this card. You can see the seeds that are falling from the tree here at winter, being planted, coming back in spring. So it's a strong image of renewal, of, yeah, there's death, it's a normal part of life, and then there's rebirth straight after. And this has come up in the area of our heart, and this is what I'm saying. Something needs to be cut off. See, this is why I came on and why I say what I say at the preamble, and then the cards back me up, because that is just how I read cards. I don't just read cards. Some people just read cards, no offence, but some people on the chat will just read cards. And this is how being psychic works. I've already said this to you, and now the cards back it up. This is a real reading, okay? Do what you will with it. It's a free will planet, but this is exactly what I'm saying. Spirit backs me up every time. Whatever comes up, I channel at the beginning of the preamble. Spirit comes in and backs me up with the cards, and I'm so grateful for that. This is the energy I've been feeling. Things need to be cut off. Things need to be allowed to die. Things need to have a door shut on them. And it's painful. It's difficult because this is stuff that has had... Maybe you've given your heart away to somebody. Maybe this is something that's been hanging over you for years in your family or your friends or something like that, or an ex-lover. But this is Spirit asking a strong, strong message. Now's the time to shut the door on that. Now's the time to cut the cords on that. That's the only way we're going to allow a new start or rebirth to come in. That's what true love is. It's being not scared to be able to cut that cord or shut that door on that pain, okay? On that toxicity. And it is difficult. And I'm sending you a blue jug, whoever that is. Excuse my dog, let's a minute. I've got 2 dogs there in case you haven't tuned into the channel before. Just got to take care of this. Sorry about that, just the doglets. Okay, so yeah, this is powerful stuff. This is important stuff. This is massive. This is hard stuff that's holding on to you. It's feeling very painful, very negative. This is why I suggest a cord cutting at the beginning. This is why I suggest chakra clearing at the beginning, because I can feel it for you. That's what being an empath is, my loves. I see it reflected in a lot of things at the minute as well, to be honest with you. And it's a time to allow death to come in and do its job. It's time to not be scared of that anymore. And it is scary. It is scary letting go and trusting that if that's meant for you, it's going to come back to you and be healed. It is very, very scary. But please trust me and take a deep breath. Let's do it collectively. And don't forget what you're healing in your personal life. You're healing in your family line. You are healing for the whole planet. So it's time to let death come in and do its job. Okay? Perfect as the season turns to autumn as well. Perfect. In that rhythm, allow things to decay, allow it to die away, allow it to drop away, and allow those seeds to fall on that fertile ground. Okay? And be nurtured in a new season when the time is right and transfigured. Let's transfigure that energy. We talked about transfiguring energy last week in the Sagittarius energy, and this is a continuation of that, but this is a much more dramatic, bigger energy. Okay? Scorpio energy as well, death. Okay, so let's do that. Let's move forward. 5 of Pentacles in reverse coming up in our area of fire. The fives. The fives have been hanging on, right, for ages. It's been really strong energy with the fives, and it's not the greatest energies. I feel like it's stuck. I feel like we really need to move on from this 5 energy. I'm willing it all the time. I'm probably putting a bit of resistance there by willing it so strong, actually, because I've really felt it myself. I've seen it reflected in pretty much everyone's reading, all the readings I've been doing, all the readings I've been following, all the readings I've been giving, we're all stuck in the fives. You can't, especially with 5 Pentacles, especially in a reverse like this is about feeling left out in the cold. Okay, so this is passion now, gone cold. This is perhaps somebody feeling left out in the cold. Perhaps somebody's blocked you, somebody's cut you off, somebody's not talking to you. There's been a miscommunication with a Mercury retrograde and all of that. If it's financial, it feels like there's no support, you can't find an answer, it's just getting worse and you can't find the support you need. Okay, and it's starting to feel really horrible, and that feeling is just adding to your woes, and you know that, but you can't help it. It's a spiral. I really feel for you. I've been there many times also. It's in the reverse now. With that one though, it does show us that there is help, there is a solution, and we're just not looking at it. You can come in from the cold of the 5 of Pentacles, but you just haven't seen it yet. You haven't figured it out. Okay. So if this is financial, there is some way, someone that can help you out, or some way out of that. If this is a emotional situation, and I feel often finance, it does get emotional because, you know, it's life, isn't it? It's Mr. Milo. Hello, Baba. Finished barking. There he is. This is showing us that we are figuring it out, that we are finding what that doorway out is, and maybe, and I hope, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, that was for no accident either. My phone's made a noise. Did you hear that? Spirit's chiming in. That this reading will help you find a doorway out of it by allowing this emotional pain to be taken away from you. And like I say, there's a million ways you could do that. If you work with archangels, you can ask Archangel Michael to come in and use his mighty sword to cut it off. If you're into Wicca and witchcraft and things like that, you can use cord cutting ceremonies. If you're into your Eastern philosophies, you can use chakra clearing. You can use a combination of them all. You can come up with your own thing and share it with the world. But now's the time. It's about setting in an intention at the end of the day to release that energy and to find a way out of that. Okay, and you absolutely will. It's so powerful right now. This is why I've come on to do this, because it's like it's battering me around the head all day to do it. Feeling it strongly for somebody. Ace of Swords in reverse. Right, Ace of Swords is just what we need in this reading. Cord cutting. We need that sword, slicing away energy that no longer serves us, slicing away negative attachments that are draining on our energy, or holding us in a place of toxicity, or keeping us stuck when there's no hope, and things like that, okay? So I'm really glad the Ace of Swords have come up there. We've manifested that by the desire to release this pain from our hearts, the desire to tap into these esoteric ways of doing things, and working with a High Priestess and our guides there to help us to release it. 5 Pentacles in reverse, actively seeking a way out, right, through our passions. So the Ace of Swords is come up in the reverse. However, to me, that is just saying, it might have taken us a little while. We might be nearly halfway through the moon phase, but the sword is there. It's there, okay? It's just taken us a little bit longer to realise that some of this stuff needs to go. We've been hanging on to it. We've been trying to give somebody another chance, or hanging on, or staying it, wallowing in that pain of separation, or wallowing in that pain of confusion, something similar to that. I hope you get my drift. And all along, the sword was there. Don't allow. So the fact that it's reversed as well. It's like don't keep adding to the pain. Don't turn the sword on yourself. Turn that sword outward. And cut away what no longer serves you. Cut away those negative attachments. Allow them to be cut away. Allow them to die off. If they grow back, ask for them to come back in the highest vibration of love and only love. If they come back, then they're for you. They're for you. Or there's still more there for you both to learn. Okay? Or for you all to learn. Because I feel like a lot of us, I haven't just got one or two things we're trying to heal there. There's probably a whole batch of things if you have a really good honest look, which we did last week. It was all about being present. and being really brutally honest before you can sort things out properly. You've got to be brutally honest first, which is what we sort of did, which was the work we did last week. If you haven't watched it, please go back and have a look. So the tool to do it was there all along, and we've manifested it perfectly. This is about clarity. This is about closure, should you need closure on a situation. This is about boundary setting, should you need to set a boundary or two to heal yourself and another person. And don't forget, if you have to let somebody go, a friendship, a family member or a loved one, don't forget you forgive them. Forgiving them frees yourself, frees you. That's what you use this sword for. You don't use it in vindictive revenge or anything like that. That's not going to solve anything. That's just going to attract more toxicity back into your life. You use it to heal like a surgeon would. All right, okay. So very, very powerful reading. That is the swords coming up, the death, very, very powerful. And then exactly what I said to you at the preamble, what I was feeling, the cards have backed it up perfectly, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm going to clarify for us, my loves. Send you a whole lot of love, because I feel like a lot of us are being really, really brave and really, really courageous, and actually being very, very honest about what's going on in our heart space and our energy centres at the minute, so that we can have that good thorough sort out with this Virgo energy that we're in. It's all about sorting and sifting, get a plan together to move forward the rest of the year. So good on you. All power to you. You've got this. Okay. Let's see what the clarifiers have got to say. One. I know this. Okay. And I knew that. Right, here we go. This is good. Okay. Okay, stop hiding from me. Somebody's trying to hide something from me here. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's look at love, with love, at all of it. As I always say at the beginning of my readings, let's look at it all with radical compassion. Even the people that have hurt us or left us feeling out in the cold or anything of the nature, just give them nothing but radical compassion, and that is what you'll get back eventually. Trust me, it's how it works. Seven of Swords in reverse. I knew this was coming up. This is what I meant at the beginning. This is a nasty energy. This is an energy of somebody who probably has lied to you, probably has displayed a sneaky behaviour, has tried to mislead you, has tried to pull the wool over your eyes in some way, okay, and has left you feeling for it very much like the rug's being pulled from under you emotionally. I've felt that all day long for somebody. And it's in the reverse as well, so if it feels to me like you might not be able to prove it, because people who are deceitful, they'll just you won't be able to prove it, but you know it, and perhaps you always kind of knew it, and had red flags even, or it could be you yourself that needs to look at some issues where you haven't been entirely honest. Maybe it's both ways, and maybe that's why it's reflecting back to you even. So it's all coming up for healing, and it's really, really brave to do this. And this is what I encouraged last week. So even though this is like a very tricky, nasty energy, I'll be honest to you, and I won't sugarcoat it, it's very, very brave. What did I say in the starseed reading as well? Allowing it to be cracked open. Allowing it to be cracked. Just allow it to be cracked open and don't judge it. It is what it is. It is what it is. People fuck up. Sorry. Swore. Sorry, YouTube. People mess up. We all mess up. It's fine, The question is, how are you going to move forward from it? How are you going to heal it? Are you going to stay in a denial? Are you going to stay stuck in the negativity? Are you going to stay stuck in resentment? Or are you going to clear that energy right the heck out? Right the heck out. Because it's the only way forward. And it's what love is. Okay? The fact it's come up in reverse is showing me very much that if somebody has treated you in that way as well, they know that you know. They know that you know. They know that you know. They're just having a hard time dealing with it or being blatantly honest with it. And the way to what I'm being shown here really clearly, and I know I'm talking really, really quick because there's loads of messages coming up, is that they've messed up royally, right? And it's just too hard to spit it out, the truth. It's just too hard, too embarrassing, to this, to that. And the only way you're going to figure out a way through it is to release it and forgive them. Because and a way to do that is to think of, and I'm sorry, but everybody has done it. Nobody's led a perfect life. You've had times in your life where you've lied to somebody or deceived somebody. Everyone has, okay? Why did you do that? Okay, and then you will have a million reasons when you think of that, if you're really blatantly honest with yourself and present with that, like we talked about last week, of why you did behave in that sneaky way or whatever, okay? And some of those reasons might be very good reasons, because perhaps you didn't want to hurt. The top one why people lie is because they don't want to hurt somebody, ironically. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it the wisest choice, no, for sure, but worth bearing in mind when you're trying to forgive and heal, okay? Worth bearing in mind when you're trying to release that kind of pain that's been that you feel you've been carrying for a long time in your heart chakra there, okay? Worth bearing it in mind. This is just human nature, and this is a lot of the lessons that we're all learning. That's not to say put up with somebody's BS. That's not to say allow them to keep repeating those sorts of painful attacks on your energy. No chance, no way. But the only way to truly release it is to forgive it, and the only way to forgive it is to understand it, and the only way to understand it is to have compassion. And that's why I say what I say. You put yourself in the person's shoes and you realise that maybe sometimes we've all hurt somebody, we've all made a mistake, okay? I hope this is coming across and making sense. But these cards that are coming flying out are like exactly what I've been thinking. The sun's come up to back up death. Sounds like a juxtaposition, but it really, really isn't, because what is clearly shown me, and I knew the sun would come up in this reading, is brightening up the rest of the reading. It's giving energy to the rest of the reading, because it's literally the most positive energy in the tarot. But not only that, when the sun comes up, especially when there's a lot of dark energy in a reading, right, and a lot of deep dark energetic issues to push through, it shows us that what was hidden from us before, we can clearly see now. So where we might have been deceiving ourselves or being deceived, we can see it all now. We can see it clearly. The sun has come out and shone a light on everything. It's all out in the open. Maybe things have hit a crisis point and things have come out in the open, or maybe you're in the process of allowing things to come out in the open. Okay, it's like a clearing away after a tower, if that makes sense, if you follow tarot at all. You can see clearly what somebody's deceptions were. You can see clearly what perhaps your own BS was as well, your part in it, or that you allowed yourself to keep giving somebody a chance, or staying in a toxic situation that's been draining on your energy. Clearly isn't good for you, clearly isn't for you. Universe is trying to be screaming it at you. Spirit, High Priestess coming, she's screaming it at you. Okay, it's okay, it's fine. It's no point in looking back with regret and making it a worse thing and making it a more dramatic thing. You see it now, and you've got the wherewithal to let it go and let it die. Let it die its natural death. Perfectly natural to let something die. I think it's just part of the human conditioning that we've been under for the last few thousand years, that we try and make things work, or keep trying to hold on to things forever and ever and all that, and it isn't natural. It isn't. Everything has a season. Everything has a season, and who knows how long those seasons are. When you talk about relationships, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 weeks, 5 years, the rest of your life. It doesn't matter. It's a cycle. It's done. It's had its seasons. It's absolutely fine, and you're going to be absolutely fine. When we got the sun coming in, we know that there's great healing coming in. So I'm so happy that it came in with the death card, because that is such a powerful combination. Can't even tell you. It's all about life. It's all about healing. It's all about renewal. It's the opposite to death, and that's what it's coming to show us. It's coming to show us when we allow a negative situation to die and be taken away from us and just let it to be, that sun's going to come in and heal everything. And maybe things are not exactly clear to you right now, but they're going to be. And then we've got the Fool come in to back up. Five of Pentacles in the area of fire and passions, and where we're going with that, okay? And that we're feeling really difficult with that, we're feeling unsupported, we're feeling left out in the cold, or maybe somebody's blocked us or treating us in a very unfair way. And the Fool's come in as a brand new start. So for that to follow the Sun, that's the brand new start. That's taking a big deep breath and not knowing where you're going, not knowing what's around the next corner. Hard to let the past go, even though it's been toxic. Even though it's been toxic perhaps for a long time, because it's familiar. At least it's familiar, and it makes you feel kind of secure. That's human nature. So you don't know what the future's going to hold. So that does feel sketchy, that does feel shaky. But the energy, the Fool comes in, and the opposite to that is enthusiasm and excitement for the unknown, for the adventure yet unfolding that we can't quite see. If we treat it like an adventure instead of a scary thing, it's going to go a lot smoother. Those pitfalls around him, I always look at the Fool card and go, well, you know, this is the whole point in the symbolism of this one in particular. He could slip on that banana skin. He could fall over that stool there. It could all go a bit slapstick, right? But he doesn't. He doesn't, and he doesn't because he doesn't worry about it. If he was to worry about it, he'd go ask, what's it, wouldn't he? But he doesn't. And so he's absolutely fine. He just goes forward with a, oh, well, start again. And it is a complete start again, the Fool. It's the 0. Okay, the Holy Fool. It's completely starting again. And how many times do we have to start again in life? But better to start again than stay stuck in a stale, negative, toxic situation. 100% better. And you will start again. And that is a fresh, brand new energy that you're starting with. And it's coming from your passion. It's coming from your fire. Phoenix rising from the ashes is being shown to me there as well. A powerful spiritual symbol. And that's what it's saying, is allow this CRAP to just be burnt up now. It's just part of nature. Don't hold on to the regret of it. Don't hold on to try and move forward with as little regret as possible. Just allow it to be burnt up. Out of the ashes, the Phoenix rises. You know it, my friends. You know it. 7 of Discs come up to support the Ace of Swords. Right, it came out in the reverse as well, I have to say it. This is about working really hard on something, working really diligently on something, putting a lot of work and energy into something, and it's just become tedious. It's just become soul-destroying, stale. It's just not good enough. It's time, my loves. It's time to take that sword and just let it be cut away from you. Alright, especially with it coming up in a reverse. Well, if it came up the right way around, especially, it can say, well, keep going, keep persevering. Yeah, things are difficult. Yeah, it's hard work. Yeah, you wonder if anything's ever going to improve. But if you keep going, it will. But it didn't. It came out in a reverse. So that's like, literally, you've put so much energy into this and you've had so little back from it. Okay, and that's not likely to change anytime soon until you release this and allow it to have a new start and heal. Okay, until you say enough is enough. Until you take that sword and you say enough is enough. That's it now. That's it now. I'm not having my soul being destroyed in this negative situation anymore. Okay, I'm removing myself from that. Very, very brave reading. There's a lot going on here for somebody. Huge. Okay, my loves. So, yeah, heavy energy. What was that extra card that came up for us? Queen of Swords. What a shock. Queen of Swords is exactly that. So, she's wielding that very sword. It's all about being able to act from logic, to actually see a situation for what it is, instead of what you hoped it would be, what you'd like it to be, what you've romanticised it to be. Actually seeing it for what it actually is, which isn't very pretty. There's been deceit, there's been lies, there's been stale energy, there's been giving too much and not getting enough back for too long. Death's coming in, Jupiter's coming in, and Saturn's coming in, sorry, to sweep that away for you. Queen of Swords, this is where we're at. We're in our Queen of Swords energies, my love, okay? So and like I said, this could be anything. This could be a work relationship, this could be a friendship, this could be your family situationships, this could be your personal relationships, it could be a combination of them, and undoubtedly is, okay? But the Queen of Swords has come in to ask us to look at this logically, okay, and see it clearly. She sees very, very clearly, very, very clearly, and she is not scared to use that sword. Like a certain, not like, and like I say, not like in a violent sort of way, in more like a surgeon, you know, well, that needs to be cut off, that's just toxic, and that's not going to do my life any good, so it's going. And that's absolutely fine. And, you know, in the long run, she gets a lot more respect for that, okay? So we're acting from logic, we're seeing very clearly, we're getting clarity on these emotional situations, which we need, because there are a lot of these feelings that I've been getting up here today are really emotional. I feel like, I say, there's a lot of energy cords attached to the heart at the minute, and a lot of us are feeling that pull. Different people are leeching on your energy a little bit here and there, and it's like, well, you need to move out sometimes. I know I always say follow your heart, but sometimes that's why we have a head chakra and a heart chakra, right? We've moved into our head space, we've looked at it logically, we've got the High Priestess backing us up, third eye chakra's wide open, the sun's come in to back us up, we can see perfectly clearly in broad daylight what the heck's been going on, okay? It's not up to us to try and change other people's course of lives either. It's not up to us, even though we can see where other people are going wrong or where they might have wronged us or whatever. It's not up to us to judge them and tell them what they're doing, right or wrong. It's up to them. It's up to them to make their own magic in their own lives. It's only up to us to take care of our own SHIT, okay? And that's why this sword energy's come in to tell us it's enough. It's enough. Seven of Swords, nasty energy, one of the worst energies in the tarot. Somebody has been manipulative. Somebody has been telling lies for a long time, trying to pull a wool for a long time. No more. It doesn't matter what, where, when, who, why anymore. All that matters is that you see it and you're going, no, no more, no more. And it's as simple as that. It's done in love, and it's done in forgiveness, and it's done in a spirit of healing. Okay, my loves. Hope this makes sense. Very heavy reading. Very, very heavy reading. I feel like her already, and I hope you do too, and I hope that it's of some use to you. Because next week we're going to have a full moon, and that's going to be a really emotional full moon. So, yeah, see what I'm saying about this Virgo energy? What I started with last week was we need to be, Virgo's all about getting things right and doing things right. Well, let's get it right then. The first thing you need to do to get it right is be brutally honest and have a good look. And then take the appropriate action. So that's where we're at. And then we'll have a plan going forward for how we're dealing with all of this, how we're processing all of this. So do have a look at what I recommended at the beginning. Please give me a like, share and subscribe. Please get in touch with me, leave me comments. It means the absolute world to me. If I have triggered anything here today, and I feel like I have because it's been a really emotional reading, please get in touch, and you can talk to me in confidence anytime you like, and I will always point you in the right direction for professional counselling and help, guidance. Okay, my loves? I've got an extensive list of amazing people who are professionally trained to deal with all sorts of life circumstances. So never fear, we can get through this stuff together. Let's ask the romance angels for some advice. Because I do feel like a lot of us are dealing with matters of the heart. Very soon. This is what I mean. I feel like somebody's blocked, somebody's not talking, somebody's cut somebody off, or it's time to cut somebody off, or all of that, okay? Painful, separation, twin soul stuff, family stuff, all of that, right? Deep, deep emotional bonds. That's coming up here. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Right, so instead of focusing on what we don't want, they lied to me. They've kept me in this toxic energy all along. I knew something was going on. Instead of staying in that, which, you know, we all do it. It's a habit of the last few thousand years that we've been conditioned to, after all. Instead of staying in that, try and be conscious and present, and remember not to stay in that. That's not what we're trying to attract back into our lives. We're trying to attract healing into our lives. So decide what you want so that it comes to you. Okay? This is what I mean about letting go so that it can come back. You can't heal a relationship, okay, that's had an effect on your heart and your emotions by holding on to it. You have to completely cut it off and let it go for it to grow back differently, for it to grow back healthy. Or not. Or not. But then you'll find that path opens up to other opportunities for yourself. But if you hold on to it and continue to hold on to it, yeah, you get what I'm saying. So clearly decide what it is that you want so that it can come to you now. Or do you want more of the same? Because if you stay in this energy, you're going to get more of the same. Okay? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, my loves. Anything else here from the romance angels today? And the sooner that you do that, very soon, I mean, the sooner that you actually do that and you release this energy and you let it go and you allow it to die and you do your cord cutting or your chakra balancing or whatever energy works for you to rebalance yourself, the sooner you will draw in what it is that you truly want and what you truly deserve. Stay optimistic about your love life. This is what I'm saying. It's not all lost just because that one person couldn't bloody behave themselves or do the right thing or whatever. Doesn't mean it's all lost, or because you've had to let them go, cut them off or tell them no now. Doesn't mean everything's lost. Doesn't mean it was a waste of time. Everyone's had lessons out of it. Okay, stay optimistic about your love life, because you will raise your vibration. You'll raise the vibration of the collective. You will heal your family, heal it. Okay, raise the vibration and draw in somebody who's in a lot of a better place for yourself, okay, who's in alignment themselves, who's at least working on their alignment themselves. You'll draw that in. And if you don't draw that in, you know, you will have a chance to really sort yourself out, at least, so that you are energetically aligned to bring in somebody that's just right for you. And I mean, family relationships are probably one of the most difficult ones of all, and it's almost like a taboo to even talk about it on a tarot channel. But again, it works for that. It works for that as well. That person has now got a chance to go away because they know that you know. They know that they've messed up, and they know that you know. Whether it's family, whatever it is, right? They know that you know, and they know that you're not having it anymore. They know that you're this Queen of Swords now, with the sun backing it up, who can see everything clearly, whatever. I'm not even getting into the drama or all this sort of thing. I see, I know what you're doing. It's absolutely fine, but I am not putting up with it anymore. Okay? And by doing that, you will enable them to actually heal themselves. So stay optimistic. It's not all, it feels negative. It feels like, oh, this is terrible. I have to cut this person out of my life that I really love, and you know, all of that sort of thing. But really, it's a positive thing. It's what true love is. It's what real love is. Because you'd allow, if you continue, you're enabling them. You're enabling them to be more on, frankly, for the rest of their lives. If you cut it out now and draw that boundary now, you're enabling them to heal themselves. And you're able to stay optimistic, okay? Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance or any love that you need in your life. Okay, exactly. You're doing the right thing. You know you're doing the right thing. It's just very, very difficult, and it feels counterintuitive. And it feels counterintuitive because of the way we've been conditioned over the last few thousand years. Okay, that's a whole show in itself, I know, but maybe it is just my opinion. Well, it's not just my opinion. I know I can show you a castle full that would agree with me, but you know what I'm saying, folks. Okay. If this reading resonates with you, then you know that's the right thing to do. I'm going to ask for an angel blessing today because I feel like I really need it. Surrender. See? Backing me up perfectly here today. Surrender. Release all tension, mental, emotional and physical. The universe will support you. Just absorb that a minute, my beauties. Surrender it, let it die, allow it to be cut away. Follow this through now. You've come so far, you've been so brave. It's Virgo season, sorting all of this out. But don't quit now. Don't quit now. Don't carry this on into the rest of the year. No. Okay. Release it. Release it all. The universe will support you. 100%. I'm going to leave it at that. It couldn't be more perfect ending. Thank you all very, very much. I hope it's been of some use. I hope it's been of some support and some I'm sure you're going to get in touch with me and let me know. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Please hit the like button. Please give me a subscribe. Please leave me a comment in the box below. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. We are one. Okay? We are living our individual lives, and we've each got our individual struggles, but we are one. I want you to remember that, okay? So, all that being said, thank you very much, and I will speak to you very, very soon. All the love, all the light.